All right, Nez, bros are back here for the second edition of the Solver series. Much love to the community. Much love to the people at the Solver. Very well received the first time. I think people are genuinely curious, the functionality of these tools, what they can do for them before they spend the price point to do so. And that was reflected in the viewership and the feedback we got.
Yeah. I've been having a lot of fun playing around with it, man. We've been using it on stream. I've been obviously using it on my own drafts. Yeah, I've been enjoying this, man. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I keep harping on the utilization of it in the active tab to fast manage my slow drafts. Maybe we'll rapid fire through a couple of those because new addition this week. We were going through the slows last week, and we kind of had to jump over the eliminator contest, over the sprint, but now they've introduced functionality to those.
Yeah. So everything that is an underdog tournament for NFL is covered by Solver now. Whenever you before, if you had your color coding on, you'd hop into an eliminator and it wouldn't populate. Now everything populates and it's all context specific. So like when you enter a super flex, it's going to recommend you quarterbacks. It's not going to get confused. It won't let it knows what tournament you're in. So it's very helpful.
Yeah, no, that's good. I don't have any Superflex slows going, but we can check it out with the eliminator.
Gotta fix that.
I do have to fix that,
dude. But Superflex is where it's at.
I gotta
fix it.
I gotta finish this most recent dump because it truly is 40 of them before I go to bed, 40 of them when I wake up in the morning. I gotta finish with this and then hope Superflex is still open and add my 25 or whatever for that.
You got time.
Yeah, it's true. One other function that we didn't hit on last week there, Nez, that I want to experiment a little bit. Both you and I, we looked at our exposures in the best ball portfolio tool there in the best ball. And we were just kind of like, oh yeah, this is the first time I've looked at them in 44 drafts that I've done. Like maybe I should be thinking a little bit more about my exposures, especially when it comes to a contest like BBM, which we're going to draft here. So we can sync up our exposures, show everyone how we do that. We could do it for one specific contest, as I've done 15 of the BBMs already, and then we can use that knowledge as we go through a BBM together.
Yeah. I like that idea of separating, because I think, especially for people like us, we like to, especially for BBM, want to know specifically like what we got cooking in these existing BBMs to help us for future drafts.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's hop right in here. I got the solver with the window pulled up in the drafts tab here. Oh my goodness. Boomer of the year just clicked out of there we go. All right, here we go. We got solver ready to go. We got the active tab fired up, and we can just show the functionality. We could just make 4 quick picks here, Nez, before hopping in BBM. But I got 1 on the clock for the sprint, 1 on the eliminator, and then 2 of your standard best ball in the $5 and the $3 with the shepherd and stuff there. So go ahead, click on the sprint here. Giving me a recommendation of Njoku. Reminder, if you go over to the queue over here, you can see your widgets here. So we've done a lot with our wide receiver without even looking at my roster. Done a lot with wide receiver, a little bit under on running back, pretty good at quarterback. But as you can see, way down at tight end in terms of capital spent there. So definitely a reason as to why they're recommending. But we got that nice 1-3-5-1 start here. Thoughts on this one?
Let's see here.
We got Jonnu.
Yeah, Jonnu, and the QB is, go back up there, Jaden Daniels. Mm-hmm. I would probably think running back here.
Okay. Ramondre's getting a nice little boost there too with the 9.5, a guy that we haven't taken a ton together. And then there is a little bit of a drop off in terms of ADP all the way until Trey Benson and Rashad White there. So I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, I think Stevenson is a fine pick. I have high hopes for the Patriots. He should be a good regular season play. Maybe, he hangs on to a role in the playoffs as well. Has contingency upside. I like Ramondre.
Just realized I muted myself. Agreed there. I like the one thing with the sprint, obviously, with it being a 3-week final, that we get a snapshot of the entirety of the 3 weeks all in this using the playoff matchup widget. That's a pretty cool ad for slow drafting sprints.
Oh, dude, that's like the nuts being able to stack the full, you know, playoff sprint and have the matchups right there. Because I mean, dude, I'm a virgin. I'm not that much of a virgin to memorize 15 and 16.
Right? Yeah. It's like, yo, maybe I can get 80% of 17 matchups down. But yeah, 15 and 16, I'm gonna need those to walk through. Nez, let's do the eliminator next there. Let's make an eliminator ass pick. Triple condom for the people here. This one has Josh Allen, Saquon, Alvin Kamara, DK Debo, Shakir with the little mini stack there, and Bowers. So I think wide receiver probably. Maybe running back, wide receiver probably.
I think I lean wide receiver here, but let's just see the running backs because it is an eliminator. You know, I know we're scatta boys, man, but for an eliminator, you know,
Yep.
I think it's fair to say maybe Tracy's first crack. And, you know, I have been gravitating pretty heavily toward the week 14 players, as in the bye week, the week 14
Okay.
bye week players. That could be like extra, you know, condomy, you know, like, oh, cool, you want to secure like a 2K bank, bro? Like, don't you want to play for first? I don't know, man. I think that there is some value in those guys that have later bye weeks, but
Good shout, man.
yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought through. I mean, we've talked about it, but I haven't really thought through the dynamic of that when I'm like on the clock immediately being like, oh yeah, slight boost to like Tracy in this spot because of the back weighted buy.
Yeah. So I do. Yeah. So I think I would go running back here, but like obviously, like just by nature of drafting underdog, we want to beef up the wide receiver room. So, it is a nice fall on Darnell Mooney. You know, we're getting like 5-6 picks at ADP value, but we do have a week 5. You do have a week 5 buy on DK Metcalf there. So I think I would go Mooney or Tracy, but what's your heart telling you?
My heart's telling me that deep down at my core, we're still scatta boys, and despite the bye weeks there, that we clicked this fall of Darnell Mooney. Man, I was snoozing on the fact that Mooney was almost a 1K guy last year. So
Yeah, and they didn't do much of anything at receiver, so they like him. I like him. It's a good look.
I think this one's going to make itself here, Nez. I think this one makes way too much sense given what we got going on. We got the 2 quarterbacks, we got 3 running backs, with 2 of them being of the early variety. The Caleb Johnson swing that we've been talking about. We got a nice loaded wide receiver room, and we could just tack on the stacked up Jake Ferg here.
That seems easy enough, man. I take Jake Ferg when I have Dak like clockwork. You know, Jake Ferg a little down last year, you know, based on where he was being drafted, but I'm running that shit back. I have a lot of faith in the Cowboys offense this season. I just think they're going to pass a ton. I think we can bank on some better variants for Jake Ferguson, especially on a Dak team. It just makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, man. Dak staying healthy is the key to that offense. Go Burr, man. So many people have been citing those Dak stats from like 2 seasons ago and stuff, or I guess 1 season ago there, and being like, yo, Dak can still sling it with the best of them in an indoor environment and score a bunch of touchdowns if everything breaks right.
Yeah, I like playing that narrative.
Cool. Yeah, before I click this one, it also makes a lot of sense here just with the draft capital allocation here. Like, we're pretty good at running back and wide receiver right now. We're right in that mid-range for quarterback, and we might add a third later, but tight end, you know, clearly a little bit down on it. So adding that makes a lot of sense. And see that little capital bucket jump up to 6%. That makes me all warm and fuzzy inside there, Nez. Last one here before we do one in real time. Sidekick's telling us Mark Andrews with a Lamar team. That this is another one that just makes too much sense. CMC, Kamara, Pacheco, Brian Thomas, Mike Evans, Chris Olave, and Josh Downs. Everybody's favorite, not so sleepy sleeper these days.
So I'm going to tell you, let's cue Mark Andrews. This guy has a tight end. I think you can, and obviously it's a turn pick for that guy. I think you can take Mark Andrews' next pick. What do you think?
I mean, what do you win when you win would be my response to it. If you think
Yeah,
there's like a screaming difference between like Jordan Mason and everybody else because of those picks of
well,
ADP value.
that's true. I guess so. I guess my question is, next pick, would you just take Rashad Bateman? Because if you would, then yeah, just take Andrews. But maybe this guy likes Rashad Bateman. I mean, he's the second highest wide receiver in his ranks. Let's just check out that team real quick.
Okay, sure. Um, he's got Derrick Henry on there, so he might
Mm,
want to do a little
who's this tight
Baltimore
end?
thing. Hawkinson.
Okay. Um, I think yeah. If you're playing as a double tap the Ravens, I think you just go Andrews first.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. I haven't taken a ton of Bateman. I know he got the extension and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. His price point just never lines up for me. Even when I have Lamar teams, for whatever reason, I
I
just
feel you.
gravitate away from him.
I
Yeah,
overlook him a lot as well.
it might just be a leak, but who knows? I don't know. We'll see what happens when this one comes back. That'd be kind of fun. But yeah, I do think I want to do the Andrews thing. Andrews being my favorite of that spot, and I'm not heartbroken if I lose out on anybody else. I think maybe you could have talked me into like the Jordan Mason fall and then take one of Bateman or Andrews after because he's probably not going to take both. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So then at least it's kind of like, well, we're encapsulating maybe a little bit of uniqueness and fall from the Jordan Mason one, but yeah, interesting spot there. That was it looked so cut and dry when we started, and I'm glad you brought up the roster on the corner for me to talk through and look through there because I think I would have just like snap clicked Andrews and we still ended up taking Andrews, but like
Hmm.
yeah, there was a lot of things to talk through in that spot. Good shout. I'm gonna queue up Bateman just in case I happen to not be at my computer next go round. Um, that's pretty cool stuff. I think I want to give this a rip here. I want to go to my completed. I want to go to my exposures. I could take all of my completed exposures. We're up to 49 now, but I think I want to try this and see if we filter by just BBM and we sync it, and then we hop into a draft of BBM and it just display BBM exposures.
Yeah, yeah. I think it should work like that. That's my understanding. Is that it's just like whatever. Yeah, go ahead and join up. I've been telling people that we're about to hop in that want to draft with us, so I don't
Okay,
want to rug anybody. But
30 seconds.
and we
Ooh,
totally just rugged everybody.
10 spots in the 30-second. We might have to switch to the 20-second and we'll see here.
Let me rally the troops.
All right. You do the troop rallying, and if it doesn't work in a couple of minutes, we'll pivot to the 20-second just because front of the lobby tends to fill a little bit quicker. I want to pull up the solver here for a second and think through some stuff that we could do for this tournament in particular. I want to display the exposures for the players now that we synced those up. 3 quarterbacks seems good. 3 tight ends seems good. 6 running backs seems good. 9 wide receiver. I think I want to boost the week 16 importance a little bit. Week 15, not as much so. Week 17 at high feels good. Team stacking at high feels good. ADP weight a little bit down. How's that look for this one, Nez?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's
Okay.
good. I do like to boost, and you did give week 16 a bit of a bump there. I like to do that whenever I'm drafting BBMs as well. More and more smart folks are trying to put some emphasis on week 16, thinking that it's little overlooked by the field, and I would like to make a BBM finals. I think that would be fun
So would
to
I.
to do that. Bucket list item at this point, probably. It may or may not ever happen. Who knows? But yeah, I think that is a good. It's a nice feature to bump up because I'm not like I said when we were doing the sprint. Like I don't have this week 16 stuff memorized, so it's nice to
Right.
have that boost added when you're drafting.
Yeah, no, well said, dude. Yeah, control what I think one of the best like just overarching use cases for solver and what I've been doing is the stuff that isn't second nature to us, right? And I think that's a really good illustration of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Like the exposure stuff, like I'm not going to know my exposures going into a draft of this specific contest or, at all maybe. So, yeah, I mean just having those readily available and then having the additive information there as you allude to with those other weeks that aren't, top of mind and memorized.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm gonna remember is that I have a ton of Keenan Allen. That's about all I'm ever
So do
gonna
I.
remember.
We both got a ton of Keenan Allen right now. Man, I don't know. I hope it doesn't turn into Leonard Fournette and Will Fuller season all over again because that would be heartbreaking. Given the we did one on stream yesterday there utilizing the solver, and we got Keenan Allen in the Pitbull draft at pick whatever 220 something, like a last round pick
I,
there.
I
So
I know it's only gonna get worse, man. I'm only
I
gonna
know.
keep dollar cost averaging until there's no lower dollar amount to average to,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna hope that this dude is willing to make a couple $1 million for the boys.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, we got 6 of us in here, Nez. I think what I might do is just hop a 20, and if it snaps, and then unregister this one. Um,
Probably the move.
okay, let's see what happens with the BBM 20 here. There you go. It's snap filled. Okay. All right. So 20 is full. We're in here. Do you like what I've done with the solver? Is there anything we would amend?
No, I like these settings. I think this is
Okay.
a good balance of what we would like to see.
Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, and then we're going to do that. Boom. All right. That looks a little bit cleaner now. Now that we've made our
I bet
adjustments to the solver.
if I can, there we go. Perfect. What pick? We're pick 10. Okay. People are saying pick 10 is the new 101.
I mean, we kind of joked about it yesterday that the 101 isn't the 101 anymore. But yeah, man, I think if we can start this draft, it's nice to do a draft together and just speak so freely.
Mhm.
I think it'd be pretty legit to start this one with Nico Collins because I think both of us are kind of getting a little Nico
Nice.
pilled right now.
Who's at the corner for us? Anybody that we might know? Let's see, we got
Uh,
a pretty brother. This is a pretty solid room. The only red badger is just gonna pound Tampa Bay players because he's got Bucks or we got D-Mac in there too, but he's taking CD Lamb. Bucks Knowles Magic. This dude loves his Florida sports teams. I love it.
That's actually hilarious. I didn't pick up on that right away, and then you read it out loud, and I was like, "Oh yeah, duh."
That's so awesome. I should make my team like Steelers, Penguins, Pirates. Like just telegraph my favorite teams.
I love the guys who roll in with like a player name in their team or a city
Oh
in their
yeah,
team, and then they just don't even select that player.
I know.
It's
The
like,
best one is Ahmed Rosario, our guy Julian.
yeah, that's a
Shout out
good
to
one.
him. And I know we're about to pick, but John, stay woke to this Bijan Saquon flip. It's happening in real time.
Wow, there it is. Amon Ra goes there. I'm hoping the solver score is telling us to do Nico Collins. Okay, Nico
They like your boy
and
neighbors.
neighbors both have
Both
10.
tens.
Let's do it,
Yeah,
man.
you gotta go Nico, man.
Let's do it. We're Nico guys now.
I love Nico Collins, dude. I just love him. Just compared to I love Neighbors too. Neighbors is such a sick talent, but everything about Nico Collins, man, just screams wheels up to me.
I'm drinking that Kool-Aid too, man. I am drinking that Kool-Aid. All right. Some wide receivers banging off. Oh, so close to getting that Henry back. We have no Drake London, as you can see from the exposure yet. AJ Brown, Drake London, or HN.
Can we get you your first London share?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
don't think it's by design. I think it's more like, hey, this is only 15 BBM drafts thus far.
A
Yeah.
little more
I,
RNG than anything else.
yeah, I kind of think so. I do think, as you could see, maybe I was taking AJ Brown above before, and the solver kind of agreed there. I do want to get some like breakout Achan in my life though. Like I just think that would be so effing fun.
Oh, 100%. I mean,
Yeah.
he has, obviously those range of outcomes that are just like game breaking. He can really, really destroy fantasy. And I think what's even like setting him up even more for like a breakout season is not a whole lot of guys to like take touches away from him right now. Like when he had Mostert there, it was like, yeah, but like, it was just like that thorn in his side.
Mhm.
I mean, I liked Ollie Gordon as a prospect, seventh round pick. Jalen Wright had he tested well, but like did not move me at all. And when he had the chance to do something. And then there's like Alexander Madison, who like if push came to shove and like God forbid Achan got hurt, put my dollar on Madison leading the team in touches if Achan were
Ooh.
ever to be benched or her. I just hate saying that out loud because I love Achan, but
Yeah, me too.
yeah, at any rate, man, I think Achan has a chance to like really dominate touches, and we know Achan has like disgusting skills.
Yeah, no, fully agree with you there. I mean, I'm just thinking about like dudes I want to watch on Sunday, like full like dunce cap bros talking ball take of like who do I want to have like slight overweight positions on because I'm like, yeah, I'm watching Red Zone and this guy go Burr. Like Achan's in that conversation, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
100%, hundred
Yeah.
percent. Um, I think too, dude. So I'm just like, while we're here chatting, gal braining,
Yeah.
would you ever do like an Achan Bucky at the 1-2 turn? Because like, how hard is that? That seems like next to impossible to get.
To ever put together. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do it for the uniqueness conversation's sake. I would do it because there's a path that they could score in the same range as Genty and Henry,
Ooh,
you know?
Kyron fall would have been sick, but Adams correlates with week 17. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Other guys got two running backs here. He might take Brees on the corner, but like I'm not pounding the table for Brees. You and I keep talking about that little running back pocket that falls back sometimes in the fifth and sixth, and there'd be some easy targets for us to gobble up there. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally fine starting three wide receiver.
This is a really, really good start. They're just, I mean, three grown ass men here. Nobody under like 6'2" here.
This
Pretty
is
exciting, pretty exciting offenses.
this is old school like 1990s X wide receivers just slapping.
We're scouts in the Oakland A's
Here we
front office
go.
right now.
Yeah, nice.
Brees.
Dude, Brees comes back, man. Let's do it.
Oh my goodness, man. We should never do a single draft on stream ever again. This is just
This is how easy it is when nobody else is in the rooms with us.
I had no idea. I had no idea drafts could look like this. What a start.
Yeah, it was a fun one. That's a good start there. I mean, I like the ceiling potential for all of these guys.
Yeah, me too. Big time. But yeah, like you were saying, just to like tie a bow on the Bucky and Achan conversation, I do think there is a chance that like I'm not counting on it. I do have a fade on Bucky, but like if he just like makes Rachaad White irrelevant and he gets a snap share that like that nobody was projecting, and
Yeah.
the offense is sick, like yeah, dude, he's gonna destroy. And I will say, can I just give myself? I mean, I was directionally accurate with the Bucky ceiling because I said I think my comp last year was like, what if Rachaad White is Kyron Williams, and then it turned out like Bucky Irving is kind of Kyron Williams, except he's he's more skilled as a carrier, but like in my opinion, very similar roles, just like perfect situation. Like I don't think he's a world beater,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I
perfect
mean,
situation.
heard smart people talk about, like when push came to shove with the Bucks offense in the postseason there last year, they just leaned on Bucky. And like Rachaad White
Mhm.
wasn't even like a factor. And that's kind of like telling what they think of the kid in their most important situation, right?
Yeah, a little bit of playoff basketball there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the usage rate spikes in the postseason when he plays 38 minutes right there.
Yeah, and then in the regular season, I mean, I have so much Rashad White. I'm hoping they do a, you know, go to the bench a little bit more. Let's get some Steve Kerr rotations in the
Yeah,
in the
I was
Bucks
about to
backfield,
say,
please.
yeah, a little Rick Carlisle action out there. I love it. Okay, we are almost up again here. Let's take a peek at what's been going down.
We're in the hole. On deck.
Man.
Wow,
So
look at the Joe Burrow.
yeah, unstacked Joe Burrow going at 56. No, thank you. Ken Walker and Amario. Dude, Amari and Hampton's another one. Oh, Mixon would have been fun. Waddle, who is currently my highest exposed player right now, is available
Wow.
to us right here.
Let's take him here.
Yeah, I like it. I think maybe roster construction wise, like Kamara plays okay, but there's a non-zero chance that we can get like, Connor or RJ Harvey fall has to be happening soon, right?
I mean, I don't think it's happening.
Wow.
I mean, what's it going to take? Because like Dobbins is here and he's not falling. So
Yeah.
I think this is sort of it. But yeah, it's going to take some like major coach speak to like that's what we're waiting on. We need a Sean Payton press conference today to to tell us that Dobbins is going to be awesome.
Right. Yeah. Dude, we are full-fledged piss boys right now. The
I don't
solver's
mind to
telling
keep
us,
pissing.
yeah, Travion Henderson or Jawan Jennings or James Conner.
I like Jawan Jennings, man.
All right, let's do it. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, I like doing this because like we have Breece Hall, like that was such a sick little detour to take Breece Hall, and we still have this like 0 RB start here. And if it's okay with you, I would like to float out an idea of like pushing wide receiver, like maybe like a round or two. We'll see who falls back, but like I think this is like a 6 wide receiver team for sure. And I don't want to like use a BBM on stream for this, but like I would even consider if I do a 5 wide receiver start and like maybe more so in like the first 5 rounds or so, like maybe more of a sign contest thing, I would cap it at 5. Like you made such a major bet on those wide receivers. Like why not just like kind of ride out a 5 wide receiver build, and do a hyper fragile of the wide receiver variety. I don't think it's the craziest idea. And then you just take like moonshots at running back with those extra roster spots.
I mean, the career evolution arc of Nez Takes right now coming full fruition with the Galbrain stuff that even I don't cook up anymore is truly profound to hear and recognize. I mean, I would never. I get it. I still don't think I would have the cojones to stop at 5, just because we have 18 roster spots to work with, and you start 3 of them. But the fact that we're going there mentally here is, props to you, man. I don't know if I got it in me. I think I would definitely still do 6 or 7. But yeah, I think we could start. We got all our quarterbacks available for stacking outs too. Like this upcoming pocket of like tight end, quarterback, and like a couple running backs feels like we can shelf wide receiver for a bit and then reevaluate kind of thing.
Yeah, unless we get just like the most amazing fall ever, but I think I'm probably good.
Yeah, Golden goes there, Reed goes there, Downs goes there. Ayuk we don't want right now.
Let's check.
I'm trying to think who would be the faller.
Yeah, nobody that's worth reaching for.
Yeah, Shakir, I guess. They're telling us Judkins. Judkins is not our darling right now.
Not right now. Pollard or Jones for me. What do you think?
Pollard.
Okay.
Yeah, the Judkins stuff that we're alluding to, guys, if you're watching this video, we did a show on Tuesday talking about, cross-referencing the Pick'em lobbies with what's going on in the draft streets in terms of ADP. And Judkins, amongst like the targets that go around him, I know we're playing 2 separate contests, but like his mean projection outcome was like what, 649? in terms of yardage or rushing yardage, and it was like
Yep.
3.5 touchdowns. It just left so much to be desired. And obviously in BBM, we're playing for ceiling shot, right tail outcomes. That's why if everything breaks right for Judkins, his ADP is where it is. Same with RJ Harvey. If these guys become studs, they push right tail outcomes. But yeah, I mean, that just got me quite worried. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
Nez, we could go bolster the running back room with Brian Robinson, who we don't really take. We could do Mooney for setting up a double stack. We
I
could do
like
Cooper
Mooney.
Cup. Okay, you like Mooney more so than everybody on the board?
Yeah, we just took him in
Okay.
a slow draft. I'm pretty excited about Darnell Mooney, and I love the idea of a Penix double. Now,
Mhm.
I will say we probably do need to. I'm not saying we need to reach on Michael Penix.
Yep.
However, a lot of wild cards in this room. A lot of no badges. A lot of people out here. And I love that for them. They're having fun. They don't care about being sweaty virgins. So we need to make sure that when we see Michael Penix, maybe 8 picks ahead of ADP or so, we
Sure.
lock
Yeah.
him up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm definitely in lockstep with you there in recognizing your room, right? Like we're not dealing with
Hmm.
a stream draft room as usual. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 non-badgers. Am I counting that right? Yeah,
Yeah.
six non-badgers and two black and white badgers. So, yeah, I mean, we don't know what they're gonna do, right? Sometimes they just stay tethered to ADP. Sometimes they go a little bit rogue, and they know who the best plays are already in their minds. So they start snatching guys, and they're not worried about stacks and stuff. So, yeah, I think that's a good shout, Nez.
And even the red badge that we do have is taking Mahomes with his Jaden Daniels. It's a little bit of a high capital pick for
True,
having
yeah.
Jaden Daniels. So, I love it though. I love it. I think it's a great thing that people could just, draft who they think are the best plays.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful part of our game. There's a lot of different types of people in these lobbies.
Yeah, man. I fully agree. All right. We are going to be kind of in that sweet spot for tight end and quarterback that we've been alluding to. I'm not going to say problem being a lot of the quarterbacks that we're going to be targeting relative to our stacks are higher ADPs, like CJ's QB 18, Penix is 21, Staff is 24, Tua is 22, Purdy we could do in this
Yeah.
next little pocket. But yeah, just thinking out loud there with some of the combos.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean,
Yeah,
Stroud is
there it
like a
is.
sneaky late pick.
Yeah, I like it right now.
Yeah, me too. So we
Wow,
got
that
options.
that worked out great for Coach Jay Hill there, where he does the Pacheco and he did Rice in the second round too. So he pushed up Rice to
Okay.
19. This guy's got a plan, man. And then he
That's
does
cool.
like Terry plus Jaden, and then wow, nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Well executed.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with what we're being suggested here to do the Purdy with Jennings. I could also do Mark Andrews and then see which quarterback comes back. Who do you like?
I think Purdy, and then I would probably. I think this is like we do have Brees and Pollard. Like our running back room is like not in trouble,
True.
But
Yep.
I do feel like running back is the move.
Okay.
Um, just because like where like the tier ends at running back is like the tier that I like to hammer
Mhm.
is where we are going to be taking quarterback.
Okay.
Just trying to
Yeah.
think ahead here.
Yeah, that's a good shout because yeah, no running backs going to our right just yet. Shaheed Andrews and Kyle Williams go there. He does do that double tight end thing that we were talking about in the previous slow draft there. Tracy comes back to us. Najee has some 17. Sharbs is there as well, or we could take a
This,
naked quarterback.
I think Sharbs or Najee.
Let's do Najee.
Cool.
Let's do it. Let's do that 17 correlation for Najee with the Houston stuff. We're working on setting up a CJ stack who might also end up with Schultz on this team. I think maybe we could have made the case for Justin Fields and Brees too, but and it still be a 3 quarterback team, but that might be a little bit too much capital. Let's see what the buckets are saying here. Yeah, we filled that wide receiver. Obviously, we got nothing at the tight end. This is going to be a 3 tight end build by the looks of it. Quarterback, probably going to be 3. Be very interested to see, what would happen if you put Justin Fields in that bucket. If we would kind of like fill up to that 9% or 10% target, 11% target.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how much like draft capital is a lot like for the next pick. Like, that would be kind of a cool thing to show, like, hey, here's the draft capital of like your next pick.
Like
to be able to see that.
You hover over a name, and then as you're hovering over a name, the projected draft capital add allotment pops up beside it.
Yeah, like a DC colon, number, and then you can kind of like get a feel for, okay, because I think that would be really helpful to help put that together with the draft capital allocation tool. But yeah, I know you're not a big fan of 3 and 3 at the onesies. I do like it.
Okay.
But we'll see. We'll see what we get as far, because like I would feel pretty comfortable with quarterback with 3 quarterbacks here, and obviously tight end. I think tight end is the one where you could maybe make the case and be like, you know what, the positions really doesn't matter, and let's like put our stones on the table about it. Ooh, Stroud. Okay, he has Higgins. All right.
Yeah, he did the. That's what you were alluding to, man. Thesis reigns true, right here in terms of exactly what you were alluding to. That hey, we got to be prepared for a potential little bit of wild card stuff taking place in these rooms, because look at all this purple that just went after we took Najee.
Oh yeah,
it is the pocket, man.
Round 10 is the
yeah.
Yep, round 10 is the round of the QB. You see it every single draft, and it makes sense, right? Those are a lot of really good quarterbacks there that are, I think pretty ambiguous and also have like pretty good range of outcomes week to week.
Yeah, good shout there, dude. I was just messing around on the side here with the Best Ball Explorer. Obviously, we're using the Best Ball Draft Assistant right now for this draft in real time. But the Explorer behind closed doors is where you can upload all your stuff. We showcased it, on the last stream, and we showcased it here. I was just messing around with what's been happening trend-wise, like in the last 4 weeks in underdog ADP changes. Dobbins, Nick Chubb, Miles Sanders all up like 30-something points. Richardson down with the bum shoulder news, that sort of thing. Oh, shoot, we're back up on the clock here. Colson Loveland feels like a good tight end swing.
Yep. Yeah. It correlates with Purdy, I believe.
Do you prefer Ramondre
to Loveland? No, yeah. I like Loveland.
Okay, cool.
Let's just sort by running back real quick, though, and just take a look at our options.
I do think it might be Penix time, though, dude.
Okay, let's throw him in the queue.
Yeah. I mean, even... So this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool that like the assistant is even telling us like how important Penix is to our team. That even though Ramondre comes back to us, like Penix is...
He's there.
There we go. Penix is 146. Yeah, I don't think he makes it back in a room like this. Maybe we could go counting quarterbacks or something and see where it is, but see where everybody's at.
Here's a thought for you.
Yeah.
Penix and Purdy. It does feel thin, but we double stacked Penix, man. Like we made a pretty big bet on this Falcons team being good. You could talk me into this being a 2 quarterback team. And my suggestion would be like 2-7-6-2. 2-7-6-3 rather. And trying to hit some contingency home runs with the running back position with those extra picks. That would be proposal 1.
Yeah, I think the value add of like a seventh running back in the 18th round is just like not nearly as much as adding on another quarterback that's a skinny stack in like the 16 or the 17. So I would always go for the third quarterback, even though we've made like the bet on it. But yeah, I could see it both ways. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, you're definitely like a little bit more experimental gal brain than I am when it comes to like that sort of stuff. I'm kind of just like flat out on 7 running back builds, even like especially when we started with like Brees and Tony in the first like 7 rounds. I don't know. I get the thesis. I just probably won't do a ton of it.
Yeah, I think like you just have to kind of tell yourself like, what if,
Yeah.
and if a running back gets hurt and a running back steps up in the place, like they're high risk bets. They're low probability bets, but like I think we have set ourselves up or have the ability to set ourselves up to take on, to scattershot more of those
Yeah.
and potentially have a home run hit and have a really well balanced lineup around it. But that said, like if you were playing probabilities, the probability of a third quarterback contributing points as opposed to a contingency running back is obviously going to be way higher.
Right.
And I don't mind playing like that either. I think that that's a totally fair, way to play. But we can wait and see here. Wow, we are already about to be back up.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting decision for us because I do like a lot of these players here. I mean, Algier seems like a smash in terms of like the Falcons thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Austin Eckler just kind of whatever.
I
Dubs
like
or Quentin Johnston.
I like Algier.
I mean, it kind of just runs in line with the thesis of like, hey, we just hammered all of Atlanta and we didn't take a running back in the first 3 rounds. So we're kind of betting against the Bijan teams. So now
Yeah.
Algier's like another smash component to this thesis.
100%. 100%. I think that's a good way to think about it. Um, decent draft capital on Algier too, so that kind of like gets you more into the 6 running back conversation as well.
Yeah.
Wow, Aaron Rodgers.
Who do you like?
I think Stafford
You don't care about the 17
or
quarterback
QJ.
correlation? Let's do Stafford.
QJ correlates a lot.
I'm not as bullish on QJ as everyone else seems to be right now.
Yeah, he could easily lose his job.
Yeah. That was an interesting spot for us because it did really govern how we're going to land this plane. I was I was slowly galbraining in my mind if we could have done like a rogue turn for the third quarterback where you're not playing the same 17 game environment, that you could do like Cam Ward and then backstack like Chig or something with the tight end spots that we still need to fill. Or like we
Yeah.
could have done Bryce Young and then like JT Sanders or something. Because one thing that I've really noticed using like the assistant stuff and this sort of thing is it's talking about your roster in the lens of right now. It's not talking about the lens of your roster if we can forecast future picks. Like it can't think ahead. We're the ones who have to think ahead for it, right? So it's not going to tell us that like Cam Ward was a better pick than Matthew Stafford there because Matthew Stafford makes so much sense as a stacking partner and the 17 correlation. But I think there's a path that Cam Ward could have been a better pick for this roster given future picks that we might make.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's totally fair. We started thinking about that pick 10 seconds until we had to make the pick. So, I think we can kind of put that one on us and, maybe give ourselves a couple picks ahead of time to think about that. I still don't think we made a bad pick, but I don't disagree that like alternatives could have presented us with better outcomes.
Yeah, exactly. Our thesis was correct there, though, Nez, where all the quarterbacks in a more recreational laden room are all gone by round 15.
Yep.
Rogers goes at 158, Geno's going here. So like if we wanted a third quarterback, taking it there made a lot of sense. Interesting, it's suggesting Adam Thielen, despite how thin our running back room is right now, or our tight end room is. I think I would
Mm-hmm.
take the dip on Strange here and
Yep.
just be like, we're taking a shot.
Yeah, I like Strange a lot.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence tight ends, in the past have been pretty valuable. I think Strange is a pretty good player. I mean, it's just coming from tight end you there. Shout out Penn State. Yeah, I like the dip on Strange. I don't care if he's stacked or not. Like tight end is such like a whatever pick to me. I just want guys that are going to be on the field and have a chance to catch touchdowns.
Are you for tight end curious on this build yet?
No, sir. Never ever.
It's interesting. This is obviously a player evaluation take here. It's interesting that we have all the week 17 correlation in the world, and we have Nico Collins without CJ Stroud, and Nick Chubb is still not a suggested player for us right here.
Yeah, that is. I am curious about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I'm thinking of a player here.
Well, let's
to take a seventh wide receiver. Dude, I kind of want to take Shipley or Giddens and double down on the notion that we didn't take a running back in the first and second round.
Yeah. I think I'm more Giddens, but Shipley looked good too.
Okay. If you're more Giddens in Nez we trust, it's got some 16, it's got some 17 in there.
Yeah.
I also really like a point that I heard Hayden make the other day, and I think I've made a similar one in the past, but he made it more intelligently sounding, where like, like the ADP margins of like 15 through 18, like we shouldn't care about the confinements of them really at all. And it's actually better to have like 4 18-round picks on the same team than it is to like just play within the confines of the exact same ADP range.
Yeah. I mean, Crane refers to that as like auction dollars on chip chasing. Like that, they just like these are all $1 picks. They are literally in draft capital. These are all worth the same amount of draft capital,
right?
At this range. So like, you're not when you get a value, you're like, if you're scooping value, you're scooping value of a 1 point draft capital player at 1 draft capital. Like you're actually not getting a ton if that player's, I know obviously that's different if the player's ADP is a crazy fall, but like for the most part, like you're getting fake value. So you really should get your guys here, like 100,000%, like get your effing guys.
And especially in the contest that the draft window spans the entirety of the summer, right? Like CLV goes both ways. So it's like 100%. We're going to be taking guys right now who are going to be like, wearing the red jersey, getting third team touches when it comes to second week of camp, right?
Yeah, most likely at least.
Yeah, and right now we think we're so sharp, right? Like, oh yeah, that's makes like I just think about what was his name? The Ravens wide receiver last year, and then he didn't even touch the field. I can't even remember his name. The rookie one that everybody was.
Oh, yeah, from UNC.
Walker. Dontavian? Something like
Tez
that.
Walker, wasn't it?
Tez Walker. Yeah,
Devontae Walker.
Devontae. There you go. See, we don't even remember his name a year later, and everyone was stacking him with their Lamar teams in the 18th round. Like, we just don't know, man.
We have no idea. Not the slightest clue.
Tutu Atwell for some stacking purposes. I do think we need another tight end here, Nez. Jawan Johnson with some 16 and some 17 and as a professional ass, but Terrence Ferguson stacks.
I want Jawan.
Okay.
I'm not so certain that Ferg beats out Higbee for snaps at any point this season.
Dude, that's a really good shout. I did put the positional cap of 3 tight ends on. So you're lucky, Nez. So I think this final pick is going to have to be.
Bless you.
I think it's the final pick. Sorry, is going to have to be running back or wide receiver, and I think you're going to tell me running back.
Definitely going to tell you running back.
Okay. Samson for the second time in a row Taj Brooks, similar like rookie, just like shot upside. Your guy Kyle, what's his name?
Monongai. I think Samson
Manong
or Brooks.
to
Samson
let's
just
do
got some good
Samson.
buzz actually. If you click, yeah, he actually they were talking about him in the passing game a little bit. It was a positive blurb. You could see him slide up just a teensy bit, and plus, we had the groundbreaking, underdog season long show, and maybe more people are going to be skeptical on Judkins and more Samson curious as the summer goes on. We could have potentially, John, there's a chance we're looking here in August 1st, and we got some crazy real-time value on Samson, putting it in the
Good shout.
universe.
Yeah, let's put that out in the universe in a big way. A 3663 Nez, something that the Discord has grown quite fond of, and something that you've been growing fond of, and something I haven't experimented a ton with yet. So that's fun. That was a good one, dude. That was we'll take a look at the draft report there. It is already auto-populated for me. I can just click the download. I think I want to circle back to our your point there, Nez, when you were talking about $1 picks and like the end of draft boards and stuff like that. It is fully encapsulated by the draft capital by team breakdown here, right? Like we literally got allotted. What were our last 3 picks there? Johnson, Juwan Johnson, DJ Giddens, and Dylan Sampson were our last 3 picks. We basically spent 1% draft capital on those, right? Like if that doesn't articulate it, that they're all $1 plays, I don't know what does, right? Like that's so perfectly encapsulated there.
Yeah, and then Loveland, even Loveland himself, 3% on Loveland. I mean, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. So yeah, I think it's not to say that he's not going to contribute. Like that's not what that's saying. It's just, historically, we were able to, look at trends easier or see trends and make future predictions better by using this draft capital stuff. And yeah, very well said, very well articulated by looking at that chart for sure.
Very interesting team here. Very interesting team. A lot of wide receiver capital, maybe even a little too much wide receiver capital. A little under on the other 3 positions there, according to the desired Leone boxes there. But we made a large bet on Atlanta, and in tandem with that, we made a large bet on the Rams for some bring back stuff. We are correlated up the wazoo there, Nez, which makes sense because we pulled up the solver settings at the start of the draft, and we made sure that there was a lot of importance on 17 and 16 in particular. Just kind of a bonus that we got some 15 correlation there. We started with that beautiful 1-2-6-0. I guess the more desired would have been like 1-3-4-1 or 1-2-5-1 would have been a little more desirable, but still pretty good. Looks like we got some decent ADP values without, even though we did do the Michael Penix reach and the DJ Giddens reach in parentheses when we were chasing some rookie ceilings to round out our running back room. I'll read it off, Nez, and then you could tell me what you think of this one. A 3-6-6-3 of Purdy, Penix, Stafford, Breece Hall with a nice little fall to the 4th round, Tony Pollard, aka Tony Redacted, Najee Harris for my guy Nez, Tyler Algier, DJ Giddens, Dylan Sampson, who's getting some buzz and might be a riser in the future here, given the Judkins pick'ems in the lobby. Nico Collins, Drake London, Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle, Juwan Jennings, Darnell Mooney, Colston Loveland, Brenton Strange, and Juwan Johnson to anchor down that rookie heavy start at tight end. We get the old dust balls who are making some money at the back end there. And what do you think, dude?
This team's beautiful. This team is beautiful.
Oh, beautiful. Wow.
It's great.
Okay.
This is a great team. I think, what we need for this team to take us to the promised land is we need good things to happen for DJ Giddens and Dylan Sampson. I think that really takes this team over the top, and maybe Najee Harris carving out more of a standalone role than what the market is anticipating here. But man, this team is so sick, man. Like 7 wide receiver, I think, made no sense based on the draft capital that we spent at wide receiver.
Mhm.
I love the 3-3 at QB and tight end. And that Brees Hall fall allowed us to stop at 6 running backs as well.
Yeah.
This team is so good.
Dude, that's actually a really good shout. I didn't think about it in that lens when we were doing it. That like the Brees Hall, like it's crazy that like 4 picks of ADP value. We know ADP value created differently at different points in the draft. So like 4 points of Brees Hall like just opened up a whole nother stratosphere of how we could roster create this team, you know?
It made all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
And those falls, that's what the draft capital is all about, man. Those falls are more meaningful. Like a 4-pick fall, like, yeah, it sounds silly, but like that's a lot of draft capital. That's meaningful. That is a meaningful fall.
Yeah, love it, dude. I'm just gonna bring up a little something to close here, Nez. As I alluded to in our very first show, my number one piece of feedback for the people at the Solver was it's genuinely too cheap, and I still am a firm believer of that. Look at all the great resources and things it did for us throughout this draft, and then the draft report at the end there, the syncing of our exposure so seamlessly. Even an idiot like myself can use it. It's truly incredible. But yeah, there's your price point, guys. $34.99 a month there. If you are using this is an old school pricing scheme that we have seen in poker back in the day that relative to the buy-ins in which you are spending, the price point goes up in terms of their utilization of the tool. So it's cognizant of where you're at bankroll wise. So it makes a lot of sense that if you're playing under $100 drafts, which a vast majority of you are going to be, on Underdog, it's only $34.99 a month. There, link in the bio if you guys want to sign up for that bad boy. It works on both Underdog and Redacted Assistant there as well. Anything to add there, Ness?
No. Just really enjoyed that team and having a lot of fun playing around with the solver.
Absolutely, man. It's a beautiful way to showcase your exposures too and your portfolio going forward on the X machine there. Maybe gain a little street cred in the draft streets.
Everybody's drafted for screenshots, man. Not me. I'm a free thinker, but I will use the tool to showcase my free thinking skills.
Love it, bro. You guys will be catching this one on the weekend. It is Friday when we recorded it. It'll probably be up on Saturday for the Membies and then free to everyone kind of later in Saturday evening / Sunday. So enjoy this content over the weekend while you guys are drafting on the great platform that is Underdog Fantasy. Shout out to the good people at the Solver for making this possible. Again, link in the bio below if you guys want to check that one out. Anything else to say, Nez?
No, have a good weekend, everybody.
Have a good weekend to the people. Everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace.